This is the Lurker Below fight from a Fire Mage's point of view from Serpent Shrine Cavern. The Lurker is summoned by fishing into that pool. As a mage, you will be stationed on one of the 3 islands around the central ring, usually with a warlock or a hunter to help you take down the adds. You want to stand right at the edge of the island, so during the Lurker's spout you can step right into the water. As soon as he comes up, you're going to start with your opening volley of 3 to 5 scorches, depending on how many fire mages there are in the group to apply the debuff. You want a full 5 on him. Then a fire blast to add 1 more charge to the Dark Moon card if you're using it. Then straight into your highest DPS rotation of 3 fireballs to 1 fire blast. You'll notice that I'm going to use my trinkets here as soon as I can at the top of the fight, so the cooldowns are running. If you're using the Serpent Coil Braid, as I am, so that the Mana Gem is one of your cooldowns, you want to use your lowest level Mana Gem, and you want to use it as soon as you hit 1,000 under your maximum mana, so that you're not wasting the mana from it, but you're using it as quickly as possible. When you see that emote come up, you want to just step right into the water, continuing DPS, there's no reason to stop, and you wait there till that blue beam has passed you. If it hits you, it will kill you. Then you do a fire blast and go back to your island once it's passed. You do a fire blast so that their time moving, getting back onto the island isn't wasted, but your damage cooldown is still running. And as soon as you get back up, you're going to go right back into your damage rotation of 3 fireballs to 1 fire blast. There is no aggro for ranged in this fight. That's what makes it the best fight in the game for me. And therefore you can really just go all out. You'll notice for that reason I'm using mana oil and mana food, plus a flask of supreme power. Not pure death in this case because it was left over from Hydros. Mana is being taken care of by a shadow priest in my group and a blessing of wisdom. When he dives down, you're going to collapse to the central ring and then take care of the 2 adds on your island. One of them will be CC'd, the other burned down. In this case the CC is being applied by an ice trap. I'm confused and try and polymorph the other one for a moment before I realize, no, we have to burn him down. And then you burn down the one, and then you burn down the one that has been CC'd. Usually, one of them is polymorphed and the other's burned down. In this case, a large ice trap from your hunter will serve the same purpose. Once those adds go down, you want to return to your island, and then you can throw some additional DPS on any adds that are still up on the central ring, but you want to do that from your island, where it's nice and safe. This is a good time to use Evoke, because the Lurker isn't up and you're not wasting valuable DPS time. And once he comes up, he will immediately start a spout, so you want to step right into the water, where you'll be safe from that. Mind you, you will take damage while you're in the water, but it's very small, it will be healed through. And as soon as he's up, as you can see, another opening volley of scorches, and actually I'm going to save my fire blast till the beam passes so I can fire blast and move. So again, that time isn't being wasted, so you have a cooldown going. And go right back into your 3 fireball, 1 fire blast rotation. It will eat through a lot of mana, but because there's no AoE in this fight, and there are lots of good periods once the adds go down before the Lurker comes up, if you're fast, to regen that mana should not be an issue on this fight. If it becomes an issue, you can switch from Molten Armor to Mage Armor midway through the fight, of course. You'll notice I'm using Quartz, which allows me to chain cast, which is doubly effective in this fight. Again, emote, step into the water, and just stay there. Continuing DPS. Many people, for some reason, stop DPSing when they're in the water, but you can continue exact same rotation. And finish the spell, fire... in fact, I'm waiting for my Fire Blast to be up so I can Fire Blast and then move. It's worth staying in the water those extra few seconds. I'm using Quartz, as I mentioned. It allows you to chain cast, because you can hit the cast button as you see the cast bar reach that red area at the end, which represents your latency. That is equivalent, depending on your latency, to adding 50 to 100 haste rating, which is a very useful thing for one add-on to give you. Again, he dives down, you collapse to the central island, and will take care of the adds, burning down one, CCing the other. In this case, again, it's an ice trap CCing, and you burn down the other one. I'm working with a great hunter, be honest, so the DPS is very high, and we take them down very quickly. This is the one part of the fight where you will take damage, because they will shoot arrows at you. That's fine. You'll be healed through it. The one thing is, as you're standing on the central ring, you want to make sure you're standing far away from any adds on the central ring, on the off chance that the tank doesn't pick them up quickly enough at the beginning, and they run at you and one-shot you. So you want to be in a position on the central ring where you're far away from those adds. And then help burn down any that are still up. Let your mana regen just a little bit. As soon as the Lurker pops back up again, it's an opening volley of Scorches and a Fire Blast and goes straight into your usual rotation. He always starts with a spout as soon as he comes up, so you're going to want to step into the water and be ready for that as soon as he pops back up again. Wait for the blue beam to pass, Fire Blast, and back to your island. And I'm going to use cooldowns as soon as they come up. The only time you want to wait to use a cooldown is if you have another cooldown that might be up in just a few seconds, and that way you can stack them. Haste cooldowns and damage cooldowns do stack with one another. That is, you're casting more spells and they're also higher damage, so they scale. So if you can get them running in parallel, you always want to try and do that. And again, we're reaching 20%, at which point in time, if you're talented in fire, your damage is going to increase. So if you have a cooldown coming up, you might actually save that until you've passed the 20% mark and use that then, because again, those will scale. And as you see, he starts to spout, step into the water, continuing DPS, Fire Blast back to the island. As there's no aggro, it can be just a direct stream of DPS output. Then he dives back in, and we collapse and take care of the adds. You don't want to use cooldowns on the adds in general, because there's a lot of time spent switching adds or moving around that could be spent DPSing. So if your cooldowns come up during this phase, you can use Combustion, that's not so bad, but if you have Icon of the Silver Crescent or Mana Gem if you're using the Serpent Coil Braid as I am, or your Icy Veins, certainly if you're using that, you want to save those really for the Lurker himself. Again, return to the island, help DPS down any adds that are in the central ring. You want to do that from your island, however, because if the Lurker comes up and you're still on the central ring, you will suddenly be back in aggro land, and all that aggro you've built up that hasn't mattered since you're on your island will end up killing you. Adds go down, Lurker comes up, he'll start casting the Deep Breath, so you'll step into the water, and from there cast your opening volley again, a few Scorches to put that buff up, and the Fire Blast to move back to your island. He's below 20%, and now will go down fairly quickly. Due to the draconian time limits that YouTube imposes, I will not be able to show you the last minute of this fight, which is okay, because we get him down to 1%, and he dives into the water, very frustrating. And then we just have to deal with another round of adds and taking down that extra 1%. So unfortunately you will not get to see that, but you do get a chance to see us take him down to that. You can see that spell that was just cast on me is his Spout. He will target random people. This is, as you can see, the only time it's happened during this fight. Cause some damage and a small throwback. Don't panic when that happens. Just run back into your position and continue DPS. As you can see, there's a Spout. You step into the water, continuing your same rotation. Just stay in the water until your Fire Blast comes up, Fire Blast, and return to your island. And so that, in short, is the Lurker Below fight. You can see he's down to 1%, and he chooses to dive, so we won't show you that last minute because YouTube won't let us. This has been Severian of Elune's Stargazer Clan.